My kids train. My daughter's 14. She's been training for 10 years now, and 10 years consistently. She's never like taken a break, not because like we impose some rule where she can't take a break. She's never wanted to. Like she just does. She's part of her life. It's where her friends are. It's like what she likes to do. My son is 10 years old. He's been training since he was 5, and my wife is a brown belt. We met each other through martial arts. We met at a seminar like almost 20 years ago. I met her when she was 19. I was 32. So as a family, like we've just always done martial arts. So, and I think this is kind of the key, like, cause I talk to people all the time about, people always ask me like, how do you keep your kids involved? Like, I want my daughter to continue doing it, or my kids did it once and they don't do it anymore. Like they're not interested, or they became a teenager and they don't want to do it now. We've never like made our kids do it. Like we've never said like, you have to go to jujitsu. It's just always been like part of our life. It's just kind of what we do as a family. It's not like it's a thing that we go to or don't go to. And part of that is we run an academy. So they've always been in a school. Even when we didn't have our own academy, we were working it for other people at their academy. So they were always in that environment. It's always been part of their life. It's always been where they made their friends. So for them, it's just kind of like what life is. And I think the key to it is to treat it like that and not treat it like it's something that they have to do now. Don't make your kids like practice at home all the time. Don't make them practice. Like we don't do practice at home. I don't roll with my kids at home. We play around with moves sometimes, but we roll with each other at class. And I've learned a lot of lessons, like being not just like a jiu-jitsu parent, but like being their coach too, because that's a whole different paradigm as well. Like, I remember like early on as a professor and as a teacher, I would almost tell my kids like, okay, we're going into jiu-jitsu class now. It's daddy's a teacher now. Like, I can't be daddy in class. Like I got to be a teacher. And I can see now where that's not the right mindset either. And I recognize that early on. It's like, wait a second, like I need to be daddy and I need to be professor to them. I can't take one away. It wouldn't be fair if I like don't teach my kids in class because I'm worried that other parents think I'm giving them too much attention. It's also not fair that if like they fall and hurt themselves or they're having a moment where they need a hug, that I can't provide a hug to them too. And so that for me was like a big eye opener as a teacher, is like, I need to be dad sometimes, I need to be professor sometimes, but dad always comes first. Like dad is the most important job in the class for my kids. And so I need to be their cheerleader when they need it in class. I need to be, their teacher when they need their teacher, and I need to be dad when they just need a hug or something too. So like, that was a good experience to learn, early on that like, what is my role now? And for parents that even maybe they're not like an academy owner, but they're sitting on the sidelines. So what do we tell our parents that come into our school? Like, I don't want parents yelling stuff to the kids. Like, I don't want you yelling advice from the sidelines. We tell them how to coach. Give them a thumbs up, smile at them, wave to them, if they need a hug, they're allowed to go get a hug. Like, I'm never going to deny a kid a hug to their parent. Like, not every kid, little by little, they might not always need that, but at some point they might need a little high five or a hug from mom and dad, and that's okay. But it's not, you don't want to be on the side, like criticizing, and you don't want to be yelling in instructions or, coaching against another kid. I just don't like that kind of stuff. I think it's not healthy for the kids. There's too much of that in every other activity that they're going to do. You go to a soccer game or something, parents are crazy. Like even jiu-jitsu tournaments, you see a lot of like really insane behavior. So yeah. I think as a parent, like, and this is what we've always done with our kids too. Like when class is done and we get in the car, I ask my kids one question every time. Is there anything you want to share? And sometimes they'll say a bunch of stuff and we'll talk. And sometimes they're like, no. Because a lot of times it's easy as a parent to like impose something on your kid where you're like, yes, I was watching you in class today and I saw Billy over there mounting you and you couldn't get out. You need some help with that? Or you know what I mean? Like you could be like super critical and kind of like, you're going to push your kid away from it. They're not going to want to get in the car and have some like crazy, like, conversation about it. Or maybe they do, but they'll let you know. But I don't want to impose something on them that they didn't even like see in class. Like they didn't even really, they're not even attached to that experience anymore. And you're like, still like, oh, well, I saw this happen. versus like just let them have fun with jujitsu, let them enjoy it, you know, and they'll stay with it that way.